Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. Today we're talking about spring. We're going to focus with our Division of Tourism and Suffolk Parks and Recreation to talk about a lot of great events and activities that are coming up very soon that you might want to take part in. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're joined now by two very special guests from our Division of Tourism. We have Theresa Earls, who's the Tourism Development Manager, and Kevin Sari, who is the Visitor Center Supervisor. So again, both of us everyone talking about spring today. Again, look at the weather sometimes, the way it's been lately. It's kind of like you're thinking, spring, is it ever going to get here? Well, when it knocks on the door and you have that chance to get outside and enjoy some beautiful weather in the city of Suffolk, these folks are here to talk about some opportunities that they have to provide for you to do just that. So let's talk about tourism, staying local, and talking about things that will get people involved. Tours, I know one of the big things that y'all do, and these really go on year-round. It's not just a spring thing in a lot of instances, but let's talk about what offerings you have and how people can get involved.
Sure, we have offer a lot of tours through the tourism office, Great Dismal Swamp, safaris, walking tours of Cedar Hill Cemetery, historic narrated bus tours of the historic district in downtown, even ghost walks of downtown.
So really, I mean, it's an effort to get people to explore Suffolk. Now, of course, we're not just talking about locals. So if someone from outside of Suffolk is watching, hey, come on, you welcome all comers. And certainly it's an opportunity to promote the great wealth of history and resources that we have here in our city. But let's break down the tours a little bit and talk about what opportunities people have, because not all of them involve walking. Some of them, you get in a nice air-conditioned bus and you can take a tour, but there are some outside components of that as well, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. We've actually introduced a new kayak tour. So we've always had kayak excursions of the Great Dismal Swamp, Lake Drummond, and we're continuing those, but now we're also offering Nesbin River kayak tours, which, you know, it's a small tour, so it's about 6 people together, so you can hear the tour guide. We provide all the equipment, you get your life jacket, and you have a biologist leading you. And it's only $35 a person, so it includes everything. It's a great deal.
Where do you launch from for those?
Well, if it's the Nesbin River, it's Constance Wharf Park. And then at Lake Drummond, obviously at the lake. And I know we are looking into some other ones.
We also do a kayak excursion of Bennis Creek Park. And Lone Star Lakes as well.
So how long do those generally go? They're not an all-day thing, correct?
About a 2-hour-long tour.
2 hours? That's not too bad.
Sometimes the Great Dismal Swamp tour gets a little bit longer, but you know, we've had them go as long as 4 hours, but they're typically 2.5 hours, I would say. I personally can't swim, so you might not see me out there. But everyone who takes it has a great story to tell when they come back. They really do enjoy it.
The life jackets are provided.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you don't have to swim. You said I know you know, but I was just curious to make sure. You know.
We will make sure no one drowns, but I'm still not tempting it.
I got it. Now, as far as, is there an age limit on those tours? Because again, I know with sometimes small children, probably
10
not.
years or older.
Okay, all right.
And you have to be with a parent or a guardian.
Of course, of course.
And you can bring snacks, you can bring bottles of water, you know. With all of our tours, especially the kayak tours and the ones in the swamp, we always recommend insect repellent and sunscreen, and, you know, dress comfortably and expect to, you know, be on the swamp. Exactly. You don't realize how much nature you have in your backyard. When it comes to the Great Dismal.
And I think people forget about how much water access and water opportunities we have here in the city. People know of the swamp. So again, that's a resource right there in and to itself. But like you talked about the rivers and some of the other ones that you've tapped into, I think that's great because again, promoting other areas of the city. Other people, maybe you've done one tour, want to do a different one just to kind of see what's out there. And I don't think people really quite realize how much water we actually have here.
Absolutely. It's one of our greatest resources, truly. And we have, you know, we have a lot of folks who come here for fishing, for boating. That's probably the #1 attraction on our website is people are looking for fishing information. So, you know, you might think it's your calendar events or, you know, your restaurant week, but it turns out it's fishing. So, you know, it's great. We welcome people to come and explore, especially this is the way they make memories with their children and their grandchildren. And, you know, if you're thinking about coming back to Suffolk year after year, or if you're a local and you're just looking for resources, you know, we're certainly there for you. And I'm going to plug my website.
Sure, please do.
Visit SuffolkVA.com, and you can have all of that information at your fingertips.
Very good. And of course, the Visitor Center, which Kevin, I know we noted you're the supervisor of, as far as a great wealth of information there with you and all your staff that are there to help answer questions, a lot of good information about Suffolk and surrounding areas, because it is a state. I knew there was a term, and I didn't want to say it wrong. Thank you both for jumping in on that one. But the fact that it's a good resource there and located at, what, 524 North Main?
Exactly.
Okay. Very easy to find. It's the old courthouse building, so very nice and raised, and you can't quite miss it on that corner right there, and a nice pavilion behind it that y'all have special events. We'll talk about the farmers market, just give a little preview in a little bit, but again, a great resource there if people want to tap into. You mentioned the website as well, You have a calendar of events. You have things broken down into categories. So again, it's very easy to navigate, to find information. And if always you're checking out the website or just have a question, what's the number to call for the Visitor Center? Want to make sure we get that number out there.
It's 757-514-4130.
Very good. Okay, we'll have that information on the screen, Theresa.
And the good thing about the visitor center is we're open 7 days a week,
Right.
9 to 5. Whether it's a Monday holiday, we're still open. We close Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And in the case of like 9 inches of snow, we're closing. But other than that, we're there. So if you have family coming in for the weekend or for the week, we get a lot of folks bringing in their family looking for something to do with them.
Right.
They run out of things to do in their own mind of what they planned, and so we can fill up the rest of their schedule with lots of fun stuff. Like you said, we have information from all the different visitor centers and all the different areas across the state, and we book tours at the visitor center. We have a great gift shop.
Right.
A lot of times we'll sell tickets for events. We even sell easy passes.
Right.
So if you need a response,
A transponder.
Right.
I knew it sounded like that. Sounds like. We sell those at the visitor center. So we
cool.
really are just a central place for you to
Right.
come and get information
Yep.
and to make plans. And we're happy to help you with that.
And you talk about planning. I know also one resource that I don't think people always realize that Division of Tourism can do is help with special events. So if you're planning a big event in the city and you need to know what resources are rentable or accessible, whether they're city owned or not, you have a good wealth of information on that and kind of help coordinate those type of events. If you have a conference or things like that. So again, tourism, really a great resource for people to tap into. And again, check out the website. It will give you some general direction, but if you have questions, feel free to stop in or give them a call as we noted. Kevin, you talked about the tour. You mentioned Cedar Hill Cemetery. Again, a great historical, I keep using the word resource, but that's what it is right there. Talk a little bit about some of those tours. Now, that's a walking tour, correct?
Right. Cedar Hill Cemetery stroll, it's what we call it,
Right.
is about an hour-long walking tour
Sure.
through the older section of the cemetery. We like to say that walking through Cedar Hill Cemetery is like walking through the pages of a Suffolk history book.
Right.
And so we talk about some of the people who have made Suffolk into the great city it is today.
Right. And then you mentioned a ghost tour as well, which is not necessarily connected to the cemetery. I mean, that's really more about downtown Suffolk itself, correct?
Right. We do those tours not only around Halloween, but we do those year-round.
Right.
And that tour is a 90-minute walking tour.
Okay.
It's led by actors in costume, and it's done by lantern light. And you get to not only learn about the history of Suffolk, but also some of the legends and ghost stories that are told.
And it's funny, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And
Not meant to be spooky or anything like
No.
that
I mean,
necessarily. I mean, it's not like you know.
no one's jumping out.
That's what I was going to say.
No.
Yeah.
But Kevin spent a long time researching
Right.
and finding stories from people who've lived in Suffolk for so long and have their own little versions of hauntings and that sort of thing.
That's right.
But I think we found the right mix of humor and supernatural and history.
Okay.
And it also gives you a chance to see Suffolk in a different perspective.
Yep.
And because it's not a Halloween tour, certainly we do schedule more around Halloween.
Sure, of course.
But we do it year round, and a lot of times we have groups who come in, conferences. They may stay at the Hilton or the Hampton Inn or someplace specifically nearby.
Sure.
And they will schedule an after hours,
Right.
ghost walk. We do them in February. We've cleaned the snow off in order to give
Right.
the tours. So all of our tours are offered to our conference and reunion groups at a discounted rate if they want to do a private tour.
Good to know.
So we offer that sort of thing on a regular basis as well.
Very good. And I think you mentioned as well a historical tour of downtown Suffolk as well, because again, it's not just the ghosts or the spooky side of things, so to speak, but it's also just the rich history of what Suffolk kind of originated from, which everything kind of really emanated from the downtown area due to the access to the water. We get back to that again, right?
Yep. The historic bus tour is you spend most of the time on the bus. We've partnered with the Suffolk Nansemond Historical Society, so a few tours will be stopping at their headquarters and see their current exhibit and a brief tour of the Phillips Dawson House as well.
Very good.
We have some plans to tweak our tours in the coming season, allowing people access to different attractions and things like that. But it's all in the works, but every once in a while you got to shake things up. So we're working on that. And recently we took over management of the Seaboard Station Railroad Museum, which is at 326 North Main Street. And we're open 7 days a week from 10 to 5.
Okay.
And that's something that hasn't been available in the past, 7 days a week. So we're really excited about that.
Right.
But now that we're in, occupying that space as well, it allows for some more flexibility on our tours. And we are working on an exhibit right now that will feature peanuts and the peanut history with Suffolk. We've already invited people to come and visit the train station. We have people inquiring about birthday parties. And of course the caboose, it's gotten a lovely makeover,
Right.
and people have access to that as well. And we're going to be working on a variety of entertainment options and events that will take place at the train station, and we'll also coordinate with the visitor center.
Very good. And of course, you mentioned the fact that it's open more hours than now, and the fact that you also have your visitor center staff there to answer questions,
Exactly.
provide some of the same great information and the wealth of understanding what Suffolk has to offer that you do at the visitor center, also at the train station, correct?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And we have something called the Little Conductor's Room,
Okay.
which it is a little room,
Right.
but we have a train table in there, and we have a lovely little wardrobe where you can wear conductors' outfits and things.
Cute.
And we have train-themed books,
Right.
and we have train videos, and we'll do story times, and so it's fun just to bring the kids and spend a little while in there. And then, of course, we have the huge HO scale model
Yes.
from 1907, well, depicting Suffolk in 1907.
Right.
And so that's still up and running. And over the course of the next few months, we're going to still be doing some things around the museum, and some spring cleaning and some painting and that sort of thing. But we're really trying to give it a fresh look.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what y'all do with it. I mean, adding a unique property like that to your arsenal to help promote Suffolk and what it's all about. And it just connects right there with downtown. It's not too far from the visitor center, but you mentioned the fact that special events, because it's a good venue for that kind of thing, and some of the neat things that y'all are planning, so we're going to look forward to it. I know we have about a minute or so left to go, and I want to talk about the farmers market, which is coming up. It starts in May, correct?
Yes, May 5th.
Okay, and again, that's at the Visitor Center Pavilion, located right
Exactly.
there at the Visitor Center, 524 North Main Street. And we talked about that. Snakes? I don't. You got to explain that one real quick. I know we just have a little bit, but I don't want to leave that one out.
Our tour guide that does the Dismal Swamp bus
Yes.
tours, she will be doing a presentation called Snakes Fact or Fiction here at the Suffolk Visitor Center out back at the pavilion. And she'll talk about the habitat of snakes in the area and kind of dispel some myths and try to ease your fear.
And she'll have some snakes with her, so I'm very excited about
Live
that.
snakes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So no snakes on a plane, it's snakes in the pavilion. I got
That's
it.
right.
Okay, all
We'll take it.
Very
They're
good.
not going to be running loose.
Right.
Well, I guess they don't run anyway.
No,
But
slithering
there you
loose or
go.
whatever we want to say.
I
So
will be very excited about that. I do love snakes. This one, not so much.
to each their own.
That's
To each
right.
their own. But Suffolk Cultural Arts Center, again,
Yes.
with the connection with that, talk a little bit about that.
We work a lot with them to promote the performances and events and their camps and all kinds of things. Plus, we partner with them for movie nights and for the Mystery Authors Festival in August.
Yes.
But they have a Motown event coming on the 14th of April.
Okay.
And it's the Masters of Soul Motown concert, and it's always a huge sellout. So if people want to go, they should get their tickets now.
Very good.
SuffolkCenter.org is where you find all the information, and they do a lot with now a children's choir, and they have a steel drum band, and they have acting classes, and they do a STEAM camp, and STEAM for the math and science and art and that sort of thing. And they do theater camps, and it's just a great resource. And we're fortunate. That's the word of the day.
It is, isn't it?
Resource. Today it's brought to you by
Took the
Resource.
words out of my mouth. That's right.
And so we often, partner with them
Yeah.
to really promote one of our, most abundant attractions we have. So we want to get the word out there for folks that if they're interested. And really, again, visit SuffolkVA.com has
Right.
all of that information.
That's right.
Whether you want to know about the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts or the Suffolk Art Gallery or any of our attractions, the Great Dismal being our number one attraction.
Of course.
They have thousands upon thousands of people going through there every year. So big that we have to share it with Chesapeake and North Carolina. But we don't.
Most of it's in Suffolk.
That's right. You
Okay,
can get there
that's right,
through
that's right.
from
Think Suffolk first. So.
That's right.
But I think you mentioned the fact, again, the great partnership with the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, the fact that, again, y'all partner with them for a lot of events, exhibitions, all kinds of things over there. So, again, things to look forward to, and we talk about them throughout the year, but certainly want to thank them for their partnership.
Absolutely.
And, again, for having the venue they do that we can tap into and
Yes.
provide some of the things we do. You talked about movies and things
The
like that.
movies
So,
are fabulous.
Yes.
Especially, they've recently replaced their projector and
Right.
screen and the sound system. It's amazing. It's amazing. We showed Moana back in December, and it was just like being in the movie theater when it first came out. So we hope to continue that and do a variety of movies throughout the year. And then obviously August 4th,
Right.
I'm going to put a little plug in for that. I know it's early, but our 5th annual Suffolk Mystery Authors Festival, and we have headliners Charlene Harris and Tony Counter, and it's wonderful. So we were just really lucky to have such a great asset in our community.
Get a
And
lot Oh, sorry.
I hope more people take advantage of it too.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot of coming up. And again, Theresa mentioned, of course, the Suffolk Division of Tourism website to go reference that. We'll have that address on the screen. Check that out again for events that are happening in the spring, summer, and beyond.
Absolutely.
And again, great partnerships throughout the city of Suffolk. Again, all kind of coordinated through the Division of Tourism. So I want to thank Theresa and Kevin for being our guests today to talk about spring in Suffolk through the Division of Tourism, as well as a number of things that are going to be happening on the calendar. Want to make sure you dot those things and cross those over there, and make sure you attend, because again, great things happening here in the city of Suffolk. Thank you both again today.
Thank you.
We'll have more on the scene when we return. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're staying with our spring theme, but we're going to shift over to the Department of Parks and Recreation to talk about some things they have coming up, especially where we focus on spring break, which is very important for parents and care providers to know opportunities for their young ones to get out there and have some fun during that week off that Suffolk Public Schools has in early April. And to talk about that, plus some special events that are coming up down the pipe as well, we have Shantae Bynum, who is our recreation supervisor over at Creekside.
Yes.
And Emily Upton, who is a special events coordinator. So ladies, thank you for both being with us today. Talking about spring break camps. They're kind of a good variety of them as far as for age groups and locations and sort of themes and what's going to be going on. So Shantae, if you could talk about what's going to be happening where and how people can get involved.
Okay, so our two locations for spring break will be Creekside Elementary School and also Booker T. Washington Recreation Center. Parents can come to the sites and they can register,
Okay.
Or they can go down to our downtown office and they can register as well. When they come in, we will need a proof of residence. That could be like a utility bill or something like that, registration, car registration, something like that.
Right.
We will also need a proof of the child's grade. We only take ages 5 through 12.
Okay.
Now, granted, we do have some kids who are in our five-year-old program, but we're looking for that public school setting.
Got it.
So we're really not accepting kids who are in a daycare facility.
Okay.
When they come on down, we have the registration forms, and they bring all their documents, and $65 for the whole week, and that does include 2 field trips.
Okay. Now, lunches and stuff for the kids, they provide their own, correct?
Yes, they provide their own morning snack, their lunch, and afternoon snack.
Okay.
On some field trips, like Chuck E. Cheese, we will be providing lunch.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, what kind of goes on during a typical spring break camp for the kids? It was at 5 to 12, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do they do during that week?
Yeah, so when the kids come in, like the first hour, that's like their morning snack, and they can play board games, they can do puzzles, they can watch TV, coloring pages. And then we transition into our gym. We do like a morning exercise, something like that.
Right.
And then we break them up into different age groups. We have like crafts, or we'll do gym games. And if the weather is nice outside, we'll go outside as well.
Okay.
We also have a outdoor recreation specialist who's supposed to be, coming in to do some things with our kids as well.
Very good. And you mentioned there's also field trips kind of mixed in there as well?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes,
And all
it
that's
is.
covered under that one price, right?
Yes, it is.
Can't beat that, can you?
Can't. No.
Now, that's 5 to 12. Now, isn't there also a spring break camp for some kids, the teenagers as well?
Yes, we do have some camps for our older kids. If you're looking for your teenager to meet new friends and enjoy some recreation, Parks and Recreation is providing a teen spring break camp. It's going to be at East Suffolk Recreation Center. This camp is for teens in grades 6 through 10. The camp starts at 7 o'clock and lasts until 3 o'clock. If the child has a valid recreation membership, then the teen can extend the day from 3 to 6 at no additional charge.
Okay.
The cost for the teen spring break camp is only $60 for the week, and it includes a field trip and end of camp celebration.
Okay.
There will be stimulating activities, which includes topics of conservation and more. Or if you're looking for a place for children ages 7 to 17, and you are near the western end of the city, consider the Whaleyville Spring Break Camp at our Whaleyville Community Center. This camp is for children and teens who have an active recreation membership. Field trips have been planned for 2 days, and the cost is only $20 for both field trips.
Wow.
Whaleyville Spring Break Camp promises lots of fun with field trips, activities, crafts, and even lunch in the park.
Okay, so get a good variety of things being offered during spring break week for Suffolk Public Schools through Suffolk Parks and Recreation. Again, a lot of opportunities. I'm sure they can probably also get some information on y'all's website, or can call the administrative office if they just want to kind of get routed to the proper center, because again, there are a lot of centers, locations, different ages and things going on, so that people can get the resources that they would like to see. So.
Yes, and we're also on Facebook as well.
Very good. So another way to tap in there. All right, so Shantae, thanks for sharing the information with us about spring break camps. Looking forward to that. Emily, nice little spring event coming up, the Extravaganza. We look forward to it every year.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about where it's going to be happening and the age group kind of targeted there, and what's going to be going on.
Of course. So the Extravaganza will be on March 24th this year. It's a Saturday over at Bennett's Creek Park, and it'll go 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now there is no set egg hunt. What we do this year, we've done for the past few, if you've been by, is a scavenger hunt. So that way, if you come at 11 or if you come at 1:30, there's a way for your child to participate in the activities.
Right.
So they'll come, they'll get a scavenger hunt list, they'll follow the clues throughout the park to get their basket full of eggs.
So no mad dash to go get the eggs.
No,
Nobody
no
getting
mad
hurt.
dash.
It's none of that.
So if you got some sports games early in
Right.
the morning, come on by when
Very
you're
good.
done, grab some lunch from some
Right.
of our great vendors,
Okay.
and have fun in the park. So the bunny will be out there, of course. Bring your camera or your cell phone, of course, and get some pictures for yourself.
Yep.
There'll be face painting, balloon animals, pony rides, and all this is free and open to the public. So just come on by and enjoy some stuff. We'll have some kids crafts out there. The library will be out there with some books and some fun stuff for the kids.
And it's Saturday, March 24th?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Over at
And again,
Bennis
no
Creek Park.
charge. Bennis
No
Creek Park.
charge.
Okay, very good. Now, you know, we talk about spring events there and trying to get everybody outside. I know some of the big ones y'all have coming up are a little bit just beyond spring, but again, not too far on the horizon there. And again, certainly the TGIF concerts will be kicking up.
Before we start that, though, May 12th will be our drive-in. So
Got it.
bring
Oh,
that
that's
back.
right. Okay.
So we've got our spring drive-in first
Okay.
on May 12th.
And that's going to be at Bennis Creek
And that'll
Park?
be at Bennis Creek
Okay.
Park in the evening.
Yeah.
I believe it starts at 6 p.m.
Okay. And what movie are we doing with that?
We haven't decided yet,
Oh,
but I think there
okay.
will be a call for some votes.
Okay,
So
very
check
good.
out our Facebook page to
Okay.
see, to give your thoughts on what movie we should be showing.
And that's always been kind of a cool venue to have that event, hadn't it? I mean, it literally is drive-in movie in the park.
Yeah,
And that's
so
what we're
you
talking
come
about.
and you sit in your car,
Yeah.
you have that option. So it
Right.
comes through your FM radio, so you park in the field, have one of the park attendants help get you parked.
Right.
You can sit in your car, or we also offer that option if you come with a van load of kids that you don't want to sit with the whole movie. We have a second screen set up, so
Okay.
if you want to bring a blanket out,
Very
if it's
good.
going to be a nice night that night.
Okay. Now, you have food vendors there for that as well?
We do.
Okay.
We have food vendors that we've got everything from dinner for the
Yes.
family to just popcorn and ice
Okay.
cream treats.
So again, a nice outing for the family. Is that rain or shine? How do y'all generally work that as far as in the event that you have inclement weather?
If it's inclement weather, we try to reschedule, but sometimes
Yeah.
we do just have to cancel.
Okay.
Due to the parking in the field,
Right.
it is parking in
It's a little
grass,
slushy. Yeah,
so it gets
yeah.
a little hard to get the vehicles in there,
I understand.
unfortunately.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because that's in May, right? And then right on the heels of that, TGIF, I
Yes.
jumped the gun. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
you're fine. The TGI Summer Concert Series, and
Right.
we're excited. We're adding another concert this year, so
very
we're
good.
starting a week early.
Okay.
So June 8th, we'll be starting at Constance Wharf Park in Marina.
Okay.
So we'll do 4 concerts in June at Constance Wharf, and then July 20th will be our first concert over at Bennett's Creek Park with the DeLoreans.
Okay.
Again, we'll be kicking off at Bennett's Creek Park. June 8th will be the Fuzz Band. That's
Right.
already confirmed. So
Gotcha.
that list will be coming out with all the band concerts shortly.
And then again, mixed in there as well, also at Constance Wharf, you have the Stars and Stripes Spectacular,
Yes, we
which is
do.
sort of like a TGIF type setting, but again, you
Yeah.
have fireworks.
Exactly, very similar. So on July 4th, we'll have the July 4th celebration with the fireworks show at Constance Wharf with the band and activities for the kids as well.
Very good. A lot of stuff to look forward to through Suffolk Parks and Rec. And as both of our guests mentioned, again, you can go to their website or check out their Facebook page, again, for either contests or just as far as information that's out there. A great way to stay in touch with what they're offering, because I know we only tapped in just a few of the things that they do, and of course they're offering exercise classes and all kind of things at some of the recreation centers, and also just really things going on year-round for kids and adults of all ages. So again, it's a nice thing to do. And again, all services offered through Suffolk Parks and Rec. So again, just recap real quick, spring break camps that are coming up, you can either go to the sites, that's correct, or you can go to the administration office for
Yes,
Suffolk Parks and Rec as well to do some registration there.
Yes.
Very good. And extravaganza,
March 24th, Bennett's Creek Park, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I forgot to mention,
Yes.
you can either bring your own bag
Okay.
or make a bag out there.
very cool, very cool. Well, ladies, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Very good. That would do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.